So a viewer recently asked, should you collect all the different monarchs and portraits in the gold sovereigns? So there are a few different ones, and you've probably seen most of them on the channel if you've been watching for a while. And we're going to talk about some of the advantages, some of the disadvantages, and some of the other ideas I've got around the topic. Also got the latest Gold Sovereign series book, which arrived recently. Haven't read it cover to cover or anything just yet, but it's basically the updated version of the one below. So yeah, you might have seen that one before, the sort of purpley colour. This is just the updated version. Obviously, if you're really interested in mintages, dates and things like that of sovereigns, it's a really good place to start. Really got a lot of information there to have a look through. A lot of great pictures and things and all that good stuff. So back to the original question, and when it comes to stacking, you might get to a point where you get a little bit bored perhaps, and you just fancy something a bit different to what you've been going at for a while. So maybe you've just been picking up best value sovereigns and you've kind of thought, well, just want to buy something a bit different. We've obviously got the Britannias, so you could make your stack a bit more interesting, if that's the right word. Now, personally, don't think there's anything boring about 100 of these, if that was my stack, but you know what I mean, it might just be nice to get a bit of variety, something different. You might have also got to grow a bit of a collection by accident, so maybe you are a stacker like when I started. I was purely just stacking, all sorts of different gold, but best value gold sovereigns and Brits and things, whatever was at the best price was like the main aim. And then the sovereigns, eventually it got a bit I wouldn't say out of control, but we definitely perhaps branched into a bit more of a collector at times as well. I've bought some slightly higher quality gold sovereigns, and I've also paid more premium when there were basic best value bullion coins available cheaper. So you could say I'm not a hardcore stacker, but I did make sure that I had a decent stack first. So if you were to consider like my total gold allocation, if you like, if that's it sounds like you've got a huge portfolio there, but you know what I mean. We're talking once you've got a decent stack of basic low premium liquid bullion, it could be an idea just to perhaps keep it interesting for you to branch into different things. If that sounds like something you're interested in, just having something that's a bit different to everything else. If you're just buying the same things, maybe you'll kind of get a bit bored and lose track and ultimately end up with less gold. So for me to pay a little bit of premium on some coins, I don't mind too much, because I've got enough best value type low premium coins that my overall average cost is pretty low, with just buying over a number of years. And so if I add, like, let's say for example, a sovereign with a 10% premium into my stack now, my cost average is still well below the current spot price. As I'm making it, gold is on a bit of a run up, so even if I was making it with gold dipping back 10%, it'd still be well in the green. So it's something to consider. If you are getting into just starting stacking, maybe you've got a few coins and you've bought them at sort of the higher points in the recent prices, it will balance out over time. As gold dips and rises, you will end up going you'll get an average overall if you're just buying smaller amounts regularly rather than a huge lump all at once. So collecting the different monarchs portraits, I found it was a very interesting way to learn a bit of a history, a bit of information about things in the past. You will find that some have higher premiums than others if you're going to be choosing them and buying them specifically. But some dealers, they'll just send out whatever in best value. So I've had, all the different monarchs and even shields in best value coins. I haven't had the pre-Victoria sovereigns in best value coins. I don't think that's something you're ever going to get. But, if it's happened to you, then probably should start entering the lottery or something, because your luck's definitely in. But these sort of pre-Victoria coins, to get a very nice example, like to get an equivalent kind of grade of this Edward sovereign, if you wanted that in either of these two up here, you'd be paying, multiple times a bullion sovereign, probably at a guess, like 5 times or more what a normal bullion sovereign would cost you. So in that case, you know, it maybe doesn't make sense to go buy in those coins, but you could certainly work through the various Elizabeth portraits. You could certainly get, you know, George's, Edward's, maybe get a nice example of a shield sovereign, you know, something like that. So there's options there to increase the variety of your stack, which in turn might give you more of an interest and keep you stacking for longer, and sort of reduce that temptation, you know, if you're getting a bit bored perhaps, or something along those lines. Now, the other idea, if you have got that little bit of a collector's bone or collector's gene, you could perhaps go for a basic, you know, best value bullion stack, and then add to it some other little bits that are perhaps something cheaper. So, for example, the T-Rex coins, you know, I'm buying basically these 1 ounce pieces of silver. They're obviously not like economically valuable as a stack, I don't think. You might as well buy, you know, scrap silver or something different rather than these. But I can satisfy, you know, having a bit of a collector's urge perhaps, and treat myself to some different pieces here without, you know, a large outlay of money. So you could even do that with, you know, something cheaper, something different. It doesn't have to be, you know, gold itself. So if I was thinking, oh yeah, just, you know, collect all these different pieces in gold, then obviously it starts to add up a lot more. You could also look at base metal coins. You could look at other things. In the UK, we have 50p's in circulation. This is a special edition one, just obviously with a T-Rex on it. We needed it. But, you know, in the general circulation, there's different coins. So you can do all sorts of different things like that. And if you get really into it, you know, you could start trying to go for a date run. But I think over time, if you're just buying best value sovereigns, you know, maybe just buying the one a month that we sometimes talk about as an example, over time, you know, you can build up to having quite a few different monarchs just by chance, really. So then it might be that, you know, maybe you do go for a few specific monarchs on purpose when you get the chance to. And that just keeps it a bit more interesting, you know, and gives you something to look for, and perhaps satisfies the hobby side of it as well. If you're purely treating gold as just something you want to put the money into, you're not really interested in, you know, gold itself or collecting the physical coins, and you're more into trading gold, you're probably not watching this video. But, you know, in that case, just stick with the best value, just keep getting whatever's cheapest, lowest premiums in your area, and perhaps is best from a tax point of view. Just obviously that depends on your country and where you're at. So I hope you found this useful. I'm interested, what are you collecting at the moment? Have you got your eyes on anything particular? Are you, you know, working on a particular set or type or something like that? I would love to hear, and let me know. And like I say, the gold sovereign, the book does cover various aspects. It covers obviously the bigger coins. Does cover the full sovereign. There's obviously various information about them, you know, the history of them. Nice examples, nice pictures, and obviously you can go through and see all the different sort of variations. So some people are really into looking at varieties of coins. For example, in the Victoria shields, there's loads of different varieties when you start digging into it. I've come across a few in my stack just by chance. Not something I'm, you know, super bothered about. You know, certain dates are just rarer than others. You know, I don't really care that much if the you know, spacing in the letters is slightly different or whatever. It's interesting, but it's not something I'm like actively pursuing. You know, it's just I'm just not that interested in paying for these coins and looking for them. I'm interested in obviously, you know, seeing them, and it's quite interesting just what's happened and how things have ended up. But like I say, I'm not interested myself as in actually collecting them and trying to get one of each and, you know, looking for more rare ones, that sort of thing. So I'm probably closer to stacker than collector, but there is that little bit of collector in me as well. So talk to you soon. See you on the next video.